Robert, the Arm Vapor, here with a Life with Vaping segment. What I want to try to do here is demystify mechanical mods and battery safety in relation to them, and show you that you guys can do it too, okay? So if you're one of those people that are looking to be a cloud chaser, or you are a cloud chaser and you know about building sub-ohm coils and all this other crap, and this video is not for you. It's for people that want to maybe try a mechanical mod, move on to mechanical mods, but you've heard, maybe I've watched some videos, and maybe they've put you off a little bit because maybe you're a little bit timid or scared or something. Like, ooh, if I do this, I could hurt myself. Ooh, crap bullshit. Okay, so this is for all you want to be no-bees. Okay? Yes, want to be no-bees. Okay, so you can call the Arm Vapor your Obi-Wan Kenobi today. Okay, so for the rest of us out there, right? Maybe we've been vaping with an Ego Twist, an Ego C Twist, variable voltage, or we have some other kind of mod that's a variable voltage mod or variable wattage mod, such as maybe, I don't know, maybe you got an MVP, maybe you have an iTase VV, maybe you have the new VTR from Inokin, pardon me, that's what they want to be called. And you've been slapping on your typical clearomizers, okay, and either adjusting the voltage or adjusting the wattage to what level you like to vape at. Okay, that's good. Move on. That's good. So maybe you've got the hankering that, I've been looking around at these mechanical mods. Maybe I'd like to get one, try it out. Okay, first off, getting a mechanical mod, any mechanical mod, I don't care if it's a low end, I don't care if it's a high end, $200 mod, let's say. Are you going to experience a difference in your vaping? No. Not so as you would notice. Okay. In fact, probably, if anything, what you'll experience is go, gee, I thought this would be better. Okay. Why is that? Well, if you're typically buying, your Pro Tanks, your Kangers, your, EVODs or whatever, and they have high ohm resistance coils in them. Let's say 2.5, 2.6, up to 3 ohms, all right? 2.4 and higher. Let's say 2.4 and higher, okay? Let's just pick that number. What you've been doing, you've been upping your voltage and you've been upping your wattage, and you're getting a great vape, let's say. Okay, so you take that same device and you put it on, let's say this is a Camry K100. It's a mechanical mod, okay? It's a telescoping mod, so you can put in your 18350, 18490, 18500, even an 18650. All right, so you can put that on here. Let me just open one of these up. Let me just stick in my 18490. Screw it in there. Okay, let's take a Pro Tank. Alrighty, so I got this on here now, right? Respectable, acceptable. Not bad. All right. All right, but let's take, all right, here's my iTase VV version 3, which is variable power, okay, wattage, and variable voltage. And let's see. I'm going to crank that. It's set currently at its max of 11 watts. The resistance on this coil is 2.5. All right. Did you notice a difference? You should have. You should have seen more vapor. Because it's supplying more power to the head, okay, at 11 watts. Whereas and it's adjusting the voltage accordingly, things of that nature. Or I could simply, I'm changing this now to variable voltage. At least I think I am. Yes, okay. Nope, it's currently in, oh, I remember how to do this. Press these two at the same time. Whoops, that's wrong. Press that, press that. Okay. All right. So now I've changed this to let's say 4.5 volts. Now I'm volting voltage mode rather than wattage. Lots of vapor, right? Okay. Let's take this off. Let's put it back onto the K100. Okay. Still respectable, but it's not putting out as much as it did when I was running at 11 watts or when I was running it at 4.5 volts. Why is that? It's simple when you think about it, but I'm going to explain it to you. Mechanical mod has no electronics in it. All it is a chunk of metal with a switch, a place to screw on your whatever you use it, okay? And you put in your battery. Now, these batteries, these AWIMRs, which is what I typically would recommend you using, are rated at 3.7 volts. Well, that's a hell of a lot lower than 4.5 I just did, right? And the max they actually come out is fresh off the charger, 4.2. And then they quickly diminish from there to where their nominal 3.7 volts are, okay? So the max you're going to get out of this is 4.2 when it comes right off the charger. Okay. So you're not getting as much power as you think, okay, to the coil on a mechanical mod. That's why, look, if you're going to play with mechanical mods, all right, you want to make sure that when you get replacement heads for whatever you're using, and where did I, here it is, whatever you're using, that you want to get them in the range of, let's say, 1.8 ohms to 2.2. That's what I suggest, okay? Then you're going to get the kind of performance you're expecting out of your whatevers. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, maybe. And we'll get into that a little more in detail shortly. But okay, so a mechanical mod. Chunk of metal, tube, whatever. Switch. You know, this is the Camry, like I said, K100. This is the smoke magneto. Okay. This is also a telescoping mod. There's the top of it, top cap. Here's the tube, right? So I can, here's this 18650, stick it in there. Let's take it up a little more. Let me put on the Pro Tank. By the way, I don't even know what juice is in this thing. It's just weird tasting. Okay, that's cool, right? respectable, but you could do better if you put a lower ohm coil in here. This is rate 2.5, like I said before. Okay, so that's another mechanical mod, right? No big deal. What these don't have, okay, are adjustable center pins. So it's possible that you may find a device that you go to screw on here and it won't work because it's not making a proper connection. Also, most mechanical mods don't accept ego threaded devices. Okay, well, you can get around that. Just make sure you get a 510 to ego adapter, okay? You can put that on your mechanical mod. All right, take your ego device. So if you got an investment in ego threaded devices, okay, that you're vaping, you know, just get an adapter. Continue to use them. Use them. This one's beat, so don't worry about what you see happening here. But it works, okay? So just be aware. Read the specs of what you're buying to see whether or not it accepts it. Oh, here's another thing you may want to watch out for. This one does not have ego threading, but as an example, let me show you. If the one you're looking at does, not all of them will go down in to the mod to be screwed on. Okay, so you got to be aware of that too. All right. Okay, so battery safety. Battery safety. All right, some of you may be a little squeamish about trying these because you're, you know, people said, ooh, bad things can happen. And indeed, bad things can happen. To people who are chasing the cloud in the sub-ohm range, okay? But typically those people have done enough research and hopefully know what they're doing. So they won't run into a problem. These devices don't have any protection, okay? Meaning no short circuit protection, no short protection, things of that nature. So you're not getting that kind of protection in a pure mechanical mod. All right? There's no electronics to protect you. But that doesn't mean you're going to have an issue. All right? You're not. As long as you're not being willy-nilly about the batteries, okay? Meaning, you know, make sure you inspect your batteries, that the coating, okay, the plastic sheathing, whatever this stuff is, hasn't chipped or frayed, so you're exposing something that could short out when you put it in there. That's bad. That's a problem, okay? So I want to make sure your batteries are in good physical shape as well as just all around good, okay? And by the way, get a decent charger. X-Tar, they're good. IntelliCharger are good. A lot of the chargers that come with kits are total crap, and the batteries that come with kits usually are crap too. So look, you'll see that the K100 and other mods come as kits, okay? They come as a kit and other little stuff on them, and they have a nice case, and they have a charger, and they come with 2 batteries, and oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm all set. Don't buy the kit. Find a place that just sells the mod by itself and get yourself quality batteries, AWIMR batteries. Get yourself a quality charger, okay? Don't mess around with that end of it. Don't cheap out, okay? You're doing yourself. Don't do that. Let me have a quick vape. Now, another thing. Look. This mod, the Smoke Tech that I showed you before, look, I think they range, just for the mod themselves, somewhere in the $40 to $50 range. You know, somewhere in there, okay? That, you know, if you're looking for a mod, you don't have to go out and spend nearly $200 for a Nemesis, okay? Why do I advise you not to do that? Quite simply, you probably enjoy this just fine. But you need to find out what you like in a mechanical mod. All right. Do you want a bottom firing switch that's springed? Okay. And these all have, like, typically they'll all have some sort of locking ring. So you can lock it and set it down. Okay. And typically the ones with springs, certainly good heavy duty springs, you can put it down and it won't fire. Okay. Even though you haven't locked it. You may want to try something with a side firing button. You may prefer a pinky fire button. Okay. You may want here it is. You may want something with a top firing button. I have that one locked. All right, so don't go out and spend your money on something that's in the upper tier, okay, and find out, oh, that's not comfy. I don't like the way that one fits. Okay, try something on the low end. Clone. I mean, this is a clone of the Empire mod, okay. The major difference is this is 510 threaded, and the Empire mod is, I don't know, I forget, but it's not 510 threaded. Which, basically all your mechanical mods come 510 threaded. Boop. And also, you have to make sure it's going to have proper air control so that if you're receiving your air through the 510 connection, like pro tanks and things of that nature, that it's going to supply air. See the little air holes on that? So this is supplying air. Whereas if you flush mount it on something that doesn't have air channels going to the 510 or air holes and it's flush mounted, you're going to be sucking watermelons through a straw. We've heard that from me before, right? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to prove to you that you can do this with complete safety. Other than, okay, my caveat is you have to maintain your batteries, make sure they're in good working order, okay? All right. But anybody can buy a mechanical mod, buy good batteries, good charging unit, and use it without fear, okay? Really. So here's how I'm going to prove to you. Well, I guess relatively prove to you what's going on with it. So let me just bring this up, okay? And let's see. All right. What I'm brought up here is the Ohm's Law calculator. Now, you can search for Ohm's Law calculator on the internet, and boom, there's several out there. But what it's saying is enter any two known values and press calculate to solve for the others. Now, we've all heard of ohms and resistance, okay? So that deals with your coil, your replacement heads. Wattage or power, okay? Watts is power. Voltage, okay? So we're familiar maybe with playing with the voltage and power rating, regulation as far as with our devices. Okay, now I'm going to go in here and start plugging in some values. So let's take this Kanger Pro tank, right? It had a resistance of 2.5, and I ran it on my iTaste at 11 watts, right? If I hit the calculate button, okay, the first time I always do this, it screws up. So 2.5 ohms, 11 watts, calculate. So it was running it at 5.24 volts. Okay, now, in case you didn't know this, any of these devices, right, have an upper and lower limit as to the voltage they'll put out. The iTaste, I think, this one is 3 or 3.3, and the upper limit is, well, let's see. Let me find out. Let's see. Lower limit is 3.3. The upper limit is 5. So that's the max this thing is going to put out is 5 volts. So even though the calculator says, 5.24 volts, the max this thing was going to ever put out was 5 volts, no matter what I set the power rating for. Okay. Conversely, okay, so let's reset. Let's say, okay, I'm in voltage mode. I'm running at 5 volts. And my resistance is, again, 2.5. And I hit calculate. 10 watts it would have run it at had I had it in voltage mode at its max of 5. So even though it says 11 watts, but then again, you see this all depended upon the resistance, right? So let's say I said, look, why don't you get a 2.2 ohm coil as your higher end setting for your coil, and we're going to run it again at 11 watts. Calculate. Now the voltage is down below 5. Okay, so that's odd. Yeah. Okay. So power, I have a lower resistance coil and the voltage went down. Right. Okay, because it needs more current. So it's all a system of trade-offs. Let's go back in and see what happens. Watch this number here, current. Something you people don't really deal with. Okay, so we're at 2.5. We did before with that Pro Tank. 11 watts. Calculate. The current it needed, okay, is 2.0. Less current to give me higher voltage because the resistance is higher. Oh, okay. What's going on here is, let me put in what would be a sub-ohm coil. Okay, cloud chasing coil time, a 0.5 ohm coil. Okay, and let's say I'm going to put it in at 3.7 volts, which is the nominal voltage of all these batteries. Fresh off the charger, 4.2. Then from then on, it keeps going down, and it hangs around 3.7, 3.8. That's where you're going to get most of your battery life out of. Okay, let's do calculate. Boom. Holy crap, look at this. 27.38 watts of power is trying to pull out of this battery, and the current rating, the amp rating, is 7.4. Look at the amperage just went boom, skyrocketed. Okay, this is where you're getting into dangerous territory. And what you need is a battery that can support this kind of current, okay, that you can pull this kind of power out of the batteries, okay. Now, for you people that are operating, like I said, okay, with your standard clearomisers and your ego threaded devices, or even let's say your let's say you are starting to get into rebuildables, okay, you'd have to have something to check out what the resistance is of whatever you're building, okay, and stay within a range that I suggest, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So let's say at the low end I said 1.8, right? Okay, 1.8. Let's say the nominal voltage of the battery that you're using, 3.7. And we hit calculate. Boom. Okay, so it's trying to pull 2 amps of current from the battery, which equates to 7.6 watts of power. Well, that's a comfortable number. That's really comfortable. There's no way you're going to run into any kind of issue where you're trying to pull too much from any of these AW-IMR batteries that's going to cause any kind of an issue. Not going to happen. Even if we go and let's do a reset and say, okay, it just freshly came off the charger, 4.2 volts, right? And my resistance, 1.8. Calculate. Boom. Oh, okay. So now I'm at 9.8 watts, and the current that it's trying to pull is 2 1/3 amps. Still way within the respectableness of an AW-IMR. Safe as can be. You're not going to have a problem, okay? Let's look at the, and even show you with, let's reset this and say my higher end, let's say, and again, anything higher than 1.8, I mean, you can even push it down maybe to 1.6, 1.7, but, okay, so 2.2, let's say. Nominal voltage, 3.7, whoops, 0.7 that I'm saying to run at. Calculate it. Now we're down to 6.2 watts. Less current. There's no way you're going to have any kind of an issue with the battery in a mechanical mod with a 2.2 ohm coil. None. Zero. It's not going to happen. So you know that you can run anything higher than this and you're not going to have an issue. Okay? It's not going to cause you an issue. All right, let's reset. Let's say, okay, fresh off the charger, 4.2 volts. Again, 2.2 ohms. Calculate. Now we're at 8 watts, trying to almost pull 2 amps out of the battery. Again, like I said, it's safe. You're not going to have a problem. Just make sure you have good quality batteries and you're maintaining them. And if they start getting beat up or frayed, okay, chuck it, get rid of it, because you're going to have a short. And when you have a short, you're going to have possibilities of gassing, arcing, meltdown. Don't want, so that's what you really need to look out for. Other than that, it's not going to be an issue for you. Okay. That's copacetic, right? All right. Now, so okay, so what's the big deal about getting mechanical? Well, first, okay. Let's say you have an investment in all these higher-end coil devices, right? And you know that if you put them on your mechanical, or if you put them on mechanical, it's just not doing it for me. It's just not. Okay, get yourself a kick. No, a kick. All right, this is the original. There's version 2. I have one out, getting repaired. But this is a device that you can use to put in your mechanical mod. Okay, so let me just show you. So here's the smoke. I just put an 18490 in here. And I can put in my kick. Put it, put the top cap on. All right. Put a device on there, vape it. And what I can do, you see this little blue thing here? It's a potentiometer, meaning, hey, it's how you set what wattage this is going to run at. And I think the kick one goes from 5 to 10 watts you can adjust it for. The kick 2 adjusts from 7, is it 7? I think 7 to 15 watts, which for us average vapors is more than enough power. You really don't even have to think. Unless you like to get one, you could go out and get a DNA 20 mod of some kind and spend $200 or more for it. Okay, and it will give you up to 20 watts of power. But believe me, it has its upper and lower limits as far as the voltage it will put out. So, you're going to beat your head against the wall going, you think you're going to get all this capability out of the device, but it has its limitations as well. So, all right, that's kind of the, gist of taking a mystique off a mechanical mod. Anybody can use them and use them safely, okay? And not have to worry about it, not fret over it. Again, yes, if you are fretting, okay, fine. Okay, maybe you like the way mechanical mods look and you just want to start getting mechanical mods. That's fine. That's great, I think they are prettier for the most part. I mean, who can deny that's not beautiful? Okay, who can deny that this is not beautiful, right? I mean, they're just, and if you can't appreciate the workmanship, the design that goes into these things, some of these mods are handmade, hand turned on lathes and things of that nature. And so there's a lot of thought that goes into designing them. A lot of effort goes into manufacturing them. They're not made in huge quantities. They're not mass produced. Okay, so you get what you pay for. But these work. They're acceptable. Not everybody wants to go and spend this kind of money on a mechanical mod. Free time. Ooh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to cover with this? Let me just look to make sure I cover my bullet points. I think I have. Okay. Um, be smart about vaping. And if you want to try mechanicals, you can do it and not have to worry about it. It's not a big deal. Okay. It's only really a big deal that you really got to start thinking about what's going on when you want to get into rebuildables and you start rebuilding sub-ohm coils. If you start getting into sub-ohm coils, you had better start doing some research, okay, and know what you're getting involved in. Because all of a sudden, if something's going on, it's like, why is this, holy crap, it's heating up, because all of a sudden, because it can be dangerous when you get into sub-ohm coils. You saw what I did with that ohm calculator, right? That's a lot of power, a lot of ampage. And guys are even building they're even building 0.2 ohm coils and stuff. Ridiculous stuff. It's like, okay, I mean, chasing a cloud. Pretty good, right? Okay, so let's see. Same device, right? Whoa. I'm getting plenty of vapor out of this baby. And all I did was open up the aperture for the air intake. That's all I did. Okay. This Kraken, it's a Kraken rebuildable. Okay, so let me bring it back down to where I like to vape it at. So you don't have to, okay. What's the ohm reading on this? You don't have to go to sub-ohms to blow clouds necessarily. Let's see. Okay. Just to show you, let's see. I have a microcoil with cotton. All right. And 1.4 ohm. It's not sub-ohm. It's lower than what I would recommend average people do, okay? Because that's the way I wanted to build it, all right? But, 1.8 to 1.2, like it suggests, in that range as far as, being respectable as far as vape quality on a mechanical, perfect. Not an issue, all right? If you ever want to get into rebuildables, you don't have to enjoy mechanical mods. Any questions? Anybody want to take issue with what I have to say? Please. Comments, email me, robert@armvapor.com. Websites, armvapor.com, lifewithvaping.com. So, hope this kind of like took the mystique and the mystery and all that fear and anxiety of, I can't do this because I got to be safe. It's safe. It's really safe. As long as you, follow some simple guidelines. And they aren't that hard to follow, right? Right? Okay. Robert the Arm Vapor, signing off for now.